Hi guys, I hope everyone is doing good. I'm making this video because I want to talk about my budgeting journey and my investment journey because I am new to Canada. So I came to Canada back in Feb 2024. Um, and I did not have a lot of knowledge about how Canadian investing system works, how the banks work, and so on and so forth. So I did a lot of research, mainly through YouTube, of whatever I could learn, basically. Um, Here in Canada, I did not have a lot of friends when I first came to Vancouver, in fact. Um, so I came to Vancouver. I was, of course, going through the initial struggles of settling into a new country. Um, but eventually, I started learning about what a TFSA account is, what an FHSA account is. And because, when you're new to Canada, you have 100 sorts of things going on. So learning and retaining all that information for you can get a little bit taxing. But anyways, I invested a little bit of amount because I was able to save some through my job that I got in the first month of coming here, luckily. And yeah, so I invested a little bit, um, about I think $2,000 in my TFSA. I did not know at that time that it has a contribution limit. So I just invested. And with that, I stopped investing after that because I moved to Toronto. Again, at least in Vancouver, I had my brother, so I had my expenses a little bit managed. But in Toronto, I had to do everything all by myself. I did not have any friends again, absolutely no friends or family in Toronto. So I was just managing and struggling, and your mental health gets, I would say, really affected. But eventually, I thought that I need to grow out of it, and I started budgeting and again investing properly since September 2024. So in this video, basically, I just want to share my experience and my budgeting routine here in Canada as I started in September. And now that it's December, and now that December has ended, of course, it's Jan 2025. I really want to take a review at what all I did before in 2024. Of course, because of the struggles, the initial struggles, I did not get a lot of time to make videos and do all that stuff before. But I really wanted to do that. I watched a lot of YouTubers and I really wanted to share my experience and my journey as well, whatever I learned out of it. Because when I first came to Canada, I met no one who, um, I would say, invested, and I had no one to discuss it with. So it was just me and my YouTube and my earphones, and that was it. That is how I learned everything. Um, and I don't say that I am the best of the investors because I'm also experimenting. I'm experimenting a lot. So my investing strategy is to learn again and to try and experiment, right? Um, and that's all basically. When I was back in India, I was doing the same thing. Uh, I would say back in India it was easier because I had my boyfriend who was helping me invest. He taught me everything that I know today. And here in Canada, I don't have that privilege anymore. So yeah, it's all on me. But let me share my screen, and I started creating these, I would say, Excel sheets and everything here in Canada. I never had to do that in India, but in Canada, everything is different, and I guess we just have to play along. So um, this is basically my tracker for 2024. This is my budget tracker, and I also have my investment tracker, which is this one, but I'll get to it. So initially in Canada, when I was in Vancouver, I had a very low paying job, but then it was still okay. It was a full-time job. I had to go to the office and I was earning about 1,200, I think, bi-weekly. So it was okay, I would say. Then I left it. I was able to save some money, so I started with my TFSA. In my TFSA, I already had about $2,000 until September, but that was it. because that was the only thing that I could research at that time. And that's pretty much it. Like 100 of things, happen when you move to a new country. You're learning stuff, you're figuring out places, uh, and all sorts of, mental, emotional drama happens. So, meanwhile, I did that. And then I started to know more about TFSA, RSP, and FHSA. Now I'll not explain what all of that is. Maybe in some other videos, but not in this one. So I figured out what all of this is, and I thought, and I gave myself like, I would say, a goal in mind, because giving yourself like a realistic goal is super important. And that is the only reason that I, made this tracker sort of a thing. So this was it. My so yeah, in September, no, not in September. I think I moved to Toronto in June or July. And I got this job that I'm currently working in about August or September. So for a couple of months, I think 2 or 3 months, I was not doing anything, but I was still like looking for short-term, temporary things, and I was able to get them. For example, one of them was checking papers, like for French, because I back in India I was teaching French, and here also I got all my jobs on the basis of being bilingual. So back in India, I was teaching French. Here also, I was able to secure some paper checking thing for French people. Um, and I did that, and I was able to earn for a month from there. That was a very short term thing. I think it was in July, but that was June, July, August, 3 months. I think that was the only thing that I was doing, getting small little jobs from here and there. And I was applying for jobs. I started applying, I think, in August. And by August end, I was able to get a job as well. So it was not that difficult for me, I would say, luckily, because I knew French and there is a high demand of people being bilingual. So you should not just be able to know French, but also English. Your English should be good. And I feel that both of them are okay. Like I can conversate, I can understand people, they can understand me, and that's all. So not getting deep into all that stuff. Right now, what I have is not a very high paying job because I don't have any sort of technical or IT or computer science related, I would say, qualifications. But I'm working towards it. I'm trying to figure out. I never needed that back in India. But here, I guess I will just have to upgrade myself somehow, or basically just try to, experiment with stuff. So this is what I thought. But anyways, coming back to my budgeting, in my this current job, I had 152, sorry, not 1520, sorry, 1621. This should be updated. It should be 1621. So 1621 was my salary. I think, yeah, 1621 is my bi-weekly salary. So this is what I get, about, let's just round it off to $3,000, right? So let's assume $3,000. Um, and yeah, this is what I was getting, 3,000 to $3,200. My rent was 800. So my goal was, this is my goal. And this was like one list, or one sort of limit that I gave myself, that this is what I'll be spending. So I will update this, but it does not matter. It's 2024 is over already. So my rent was 800. I thought that I will budget my utilities, phone, internet, insurance, whatever, transportation, uh, under $100, because this job is 100% remote, and I don't have to go out really. This job is based in Vancouver, and I live in Toronto. So I don't have to go out at all at any point in my entire, I would say, job duration. Here, this is a full-time job, full-time permanent position. So yeah, I mean, all good with this job. Then I put my groceries and dining out and entertainment and all of that to $100 as well, because again I was trying to save. I like to go out a lot. I like to explore, but I really am a nature girl, and I like to explore parks and all those sorts of things, which was there in Vancouver, but I just feel not that much in Toronto. But anyways, I really like to explore downtown. I just like to go there and see the energy of people. I think in this time, like, when you're really mentally down, you can just go look at people and how bursting they are with energy. It just makes you feel good. And I really like to do that. And because I was just doing all of this all alone, I don't know, I was just not spending a lot, I would say, in eating out and stuff like that. So I was pretty alone and sad life. But anyways, that's all. And then I gave myself a budget that 200 I'll put in my TFSA. RRSP I still cannot do because I have not filed my first tax in Canada. I think I'll be able to do it from this year. And then FHSA, I thought that I'll just put $100. But this was the time when I was just, planning stuff, and I did not know a lot about what I need to do. It just like figuring out stuff, like initial stuff. So again, if you are also someone who will want to budget in future, you will really have to, it will change. This section is going to change a lot. And again, this whole budgeting thing, I did not see it from anywhere. This is like very personalized. So I don't know. This is something that I did initially. I would be more planned, more structured now that I know a little bit more than I first came to Canada. Um, this is what I thought that I'll do. Right. So in September, I got, this was my salary, 800 again. It was a fixed bill that I was paying. It was supposed to be $100, but I went a little bit over budget. And because I was like buying a lot of groceries, I bought a lot of groceries because I thought that I will stay at this particular place and in Canada. But eventually that did not happen. I also moved back to my, like, not moved permanently, just for a couple of months to my to India again. That's a different story. But yeah. So I bought a lot of groceries, and I also went a little overboard with going out expenses because I was just exploring a lot in the first month. I was excited about being alone and also exploring. And I also thought that, it would be good for my mental health just to go out. So I was doing that, which is okay. I would say, which is okay. $150 is nothing, right? So this is what I did. And then I did not invested in September in my TFSA because I had already done that when I was in Vancouver, about $2,000 or something. And I did not know that it had some limit or anything. At that time, I did not know that TFSA or FHSA, you have a limit, you have a contribution room. So this is something that I learned back in September. So I just thought to go a little bit slow, and I did not invest anything in September. FHSA, yeah, I did. I have a really big goal of buying some sort of property because back in India, I started getting into real estate investments and everything. I started learning about it, but I could not do a lot because again, I had to come to Canada. So I think real investment is something that I really want to do in future, probably next 1.5 to 2 years. That is the again the goal that I have given myself. So yeah, but this was a very less contribution thing. So I did this. In October again, I invested. Sorry, this was my income. I think this is not I because I put like 4,500 here again. Yeah, I think 4,500 or maybe just 4,000. I'm forgetting. Yeah, 4,500. So I put 4,500 here. Here I put 4,000 here. And this was, I maxed out my FHSA, I maxed out my TFSA, and that was one of the biggest achievements, I would say. Um, so my expenses here was $833 only for my utilities because I was just not doing, and I guess October was the time in my life that I was feeling the most mentally exhausted. I was like all sorts of bad things. But yeah, October was that time. So in October 31st, like on October 31st, I decided that I want a little break. I want to go back to my country because again, mentally it was really exhausting. And I talked to my manager. She was okay with me working from India, and that was the best part, I would say. I don't know how common is that your employers would allow you to work from your home country, but I feel super lucky that I was able to do that. I came back to India immediately, November 1st. I also did my first overtime here. So I got $300 more. And I was able to save literally all of it. So there was 100% saving. I had already maxed out here. I think I invested a little bit in FHSA before also, because I think 2000 before as well. So that is basically how I was doing stuff. I saved everything, and December also I was not able to invest anything because I maxed out my TFS and FHSA, and I don't know what else I can do for now because I did not research a lot. When I was in India, of course, November, December, I just wanted to chill. I did not want to do anything. I was so lazy and everything. I did not research at all. But now that December is gone and I have my contribution room again, I really want to start learning once more. Which what are the ETFs that I can invest in? What are the different kinds of things? In fact, I learned a lot investing in US market, investing in this Canadian market. And honestly, I was investing in the US market before as well when I was in India, but not a lot again, not a lot, like a very small portion. I think just like uh, 2500 USD. That is what I invested. That's all back in India. So that was it. And Indian investing and investing here is it's different. But anyways, I was able to do that. And now just this is what I did. Budgeting in 2025 would be a little bit different because I am hoping to increase my income streams. Again, I don't know if I would be able to stay here in India for a longer time. I planned March initially, March 2025, but I think I will be going back in end of January. So let's see, but I'm thinking to get at least two or three more jobs, two more jobs. I would not three, I would say, but two more jobs probably because I just want to get to my goal a little bit faster. So that's pretty much it. And in 2024, I researched a lot. Honestly, I have such a bad memory, and this is one of the reasons that I had to make this Excel file. And hopefully, through these videos, I'll be able to remember because you know what happens is when you speak yourself, whatever you have learned, you are able to just remember it for a longer time, right? So what I did was I researched a lot initially. This was all when I was in Vancouver. So I did that. Vancouver, like initially, I just invested in VCN and VFV because this was safest ETFs, I would say, according to me. So I invested in VCN, which is Canada All Cap Index, and you have sort of different fee when you invest via when you invest in a US stock versus a Canadian one. I all these investments are in Canadian dollars, not in US dollars, because you incur conversion fees and all of that stuff. So I was just learning. I did not want to experiment a lot and just give a lot in fee. I decided that I would just go with the Canadian ETFs or the US ETFs, which are available in CAD as well. So you can do that. You'll have to research a little bit. But VCN, which was Canadian All Cap Index, and VFV, which was S&P 500. Again, this is US stock index, but it's available in Canadian dollars as well. So these were the two that I invested in initially. But later on in Toronto, I figured out that I can diversify a little bit more. So Bitcoin and Ethereum is something that I invested in initially, and I was at a loss. Like it was at least 20% of loss in this particular ETF. But in December, because of Trump winning the elections, it shoot up, and now I have like at least 20 to 30% profit on this ETF. So this is something that I am doing, and I'm not selling it right now because I'm just waiting for Trump to, you know, just his term to start, and then let's see what happens. But this one is a little bit risky, but I guess it's okay. So, and also very volatile. So I still want to invest in this, so I'm going to invest. I do not invest in any other kind of cryptocurrency. I tried that back in India, but it was not that good. And I don't know. I mean, I'm just not too sure. But I have invested in cryptocurrency in past as well, back in India. But here I just don't feel like, I just feel alone, researching and, doing all that research by myself. There, I still had a little bit support of my boyfriend, I would say, but here I don't. So, anyways, this was it. And then I also invested in something called as HXQ, which is Nasdaq 100. Again, US listed companies, but available in Canadian dollars. Then I had XEI, which is high dividend index, right? It tracks S&P and the Toronto Stock Exchange, so it's there. Then you have XEQT, which I would say follows the Canadian stocks, the US stocks, and international holdings. I think top 50 only, but these were the stocks, these were the ETFs at that time that I felt was the best thing to do because I have experience in, again, like not a professional experience, but just like my learnings back in India. I do not want to invest in individual stocks anymore. I just don't feel that, it's that good. And yeah, so I just wanted to invest in ETFs, not any individual stocks. Although I did think about it initially, but I'm just 100% sure I don't want to invest in individual stocks anymore. Then, when I came to Toronto in September, I also discovered something called as covered call ETFs because I wanted to do futures and options, but I was not too confident, and it is something that you have to invest a lot of time in. But I did not have that much of time when in past few months. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. And then I discovered something called as covered call ETFs, which is like it's managed funds. It's a little bit more expensive than these ETFs, but um, these, like the managers there, they put your money, like they trade with your money, like into futures and options and everything. And again, I do not have information in detail about how they trade your money and what happens and all of that, because I have zero experience in future and options. But this is something that I really wanted to experiment with. And I was following a YouTuber, and this idea, his perception of why to invest in covered call ETFs was really like it really worked well with me. So the difference between regular ETFs and covered call ETFs, in short, is that regular ETFs will grow in value, but when it comes to paying you out, they will not pay you out that much. It just grows in values and it will give you some small sort of dividend. But covered call ETFs, when the managers, they put your money in futures and options and they trade your money, whatever profit they will get, they will distribute it among their shareholders. So this gave me a better dividend, I would say. But again, I am still not that pro, I would say, in covered call ETFs. There are different kinds. There is leveraged, there is hedged. Again, these are very technical terms, and even I did not know it until now. I don't know it that much. But leveraged are basically it takes a little bit more risk, and hedged are, of course, which will hedge your portfolio a little bit. I mean, it will not take that much of a risk. But again, in details, I will not talk about that in detail because again, I am still at a learning stage and I don't want to give any misinformation. But this is what I thought that I want to experiment with. There were a couple more, but I could not use them to balance my covered call portfolio. But also it was because I maxed out my TFSA, so I am going to do that in Jan. Yeah, so that would be it. But I was able to invest in an ETF called HYLD, which is a high yield US. It basically tracks the US stocks. QQCL, it tracks Nasdaq 100, again US stock market, and USCL S&P. So it's a different kind of index in the US. So again, all of them are in Canadian dollars. Nothing is in US dollars as of now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's covered call ETFs. Something new that I learned. I'm not sure if that is there in India as well, but again, it's something really new for me. So I invested in this. I want to explore more in this year, and then let's see what happens. For my FHSA, I just invested in XEQT because it follows Canadian, US, and international stocks, all the major stocks of the emerging markets. And this is where I wanted to put money for a little bit of balanced, I would say, one single ETF, which is pretty balanced. So this is where I'm putting all my money in for my FHSA. Currently, I have maxed it out. I put about $7,900 and whatever profit is on top of it. So yeah, I'll try to max it out as well. For 2025, I will also add my RRSP, and in there, I am planning to only invest in USD. So I'll be converting my money into USD. I'll just see basically again, this is also an experiment. Um, there are also a few methods through which you can save on the conversion fee. I still have to research on that a little bit more, but I'm just trying to do that along with balancing all the other stuff that's going around. But so far, this is my 2024. I really wanted to start making and tracking and investing and putting it on YouTube a little bit faster, but I guess it was just now. So that's pretty much for me and what I did in 2024. I guess I will learn more in 2025. And I really look for someone who can put their insight on my comment section, just so that, it's an exchange of information. That's what I would say. So that's pretty much it. And with that, I would say intention, I made this video, and I hope I will be consistent with this information that I put about basically whatever I have learned. And probably if someone can add to it, and maybe someone can get some insights from what I have learned till now. For me, it was really tough to do that because I had no friends who were doing it, and I could not find people. Basically it was really hard to um, get into Canadian investing, at this point of time. But so anyways, let's be hopeful, and I hope 2025 is a better year of investment, and basically I learn more. That's all. So yeah, I will see you in the next week.